Year 4, this is your SPaG for week 4, day 2 and 3. So it's fronted adverbials and parts of speech. So day 2, sentences can be rewritten to put adverbs and adverbials at the front of a sentence. Now you know that, it's just called a fronted adverbial. Example, I shut the door carefully. So I've put it at the end of the sentence there's no comma, it just goes in the sentence normally. Or you can rewrite it, carefully I shut the door. Remember that the carefully describes the person who's after the comma, so I am doing the carefully bit. I'm shutting the door carefully. I finished the work thinking hard. Turning it round, thinking hard, I finished the work. Again, the thinking hard describes I. Now, your job is to make a sentence or to use the example. So for instance, I went for a walk. Try and think of an ing that happened at the same time when you were going for a walk. So for instance, playing with the dog. Now, your challenge is to move those so your ing phrase is at the start of your sentence, remembering your comma and then your full stop at the end. I've given you a list then of parts of speech to help with this day's activity. You'll notice there are 8 parts of speech and there are 8 things highlighted in this section. There is one example of each of these in that section. I'm just going to go through what each one is. So, your nouns are person, places or things. They could have capital letters if they are proper nouns, or they could have lowercase letters, so things like Susie or house will both count as nouns. Your verbs are doing or being words. They're actions. Be careful, it also includes things like is, was and has. Adjectives then describe the noun. They're part of your noun phrase and they are just describing whatever the person, place or thing is. The adverb, that's your clue, describes the verb. So they normally end in ly, things like quickly or quietly. Pronoun are words that replace the noun in a sentence. Things like I, she, he. They replace the person, place or thing in the sentence so it's not boring. Your conjunctions you should already know, things like I saw a wubub or fanboys. Both count as conjunctions. And you should know the words that those are referring to. Determine, as we talked about last week, so things like the, a, and things like numbers or every, kind of the in-between words. Your last one then, prepositions, the clue is position. It tells you where something is. It might be on the table, in a bottle, it might be between the table and the chair, or it might be that word with that we use for a prepositional phrase. So, there is one example of each of these in this section. You need to match them to find the one that goes with it. For instance, blinding is an adjective. There must be another adjective in here somewhere. Can you find each of the parts of speech in my example? If you have time, see if you can write some more examples by yourself.